Recording. Welcome everybody to the Joyful Living, and we are already, can't you believe it, week 6. I can't believe how the time has flew by. When I started this session, I was like, my God, it's going to take a while till we get to a week number 7. So I am super excited. Today is on inner peace, and I couldn't ask for a better person to be here. Megan, I love her energy. She is so feisty and yet so fun and so zen. And she's going to be sharing a whole bunch of strategies and techniques. So I'm super excited for that. I can't wait. So welcome, Megan Noen, to be with us today. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here.
You're so sweet. I love it. So a little intro of Megan's. So Megan is the creator of Power Pause Method that is combining the tools of yoga, movement, breath work, and mental fitness to help people, especially high-performing women, to become more productive and more profitable in their business. And she's here to share all of her experience of what she's gone through as an entrepreneur herself, as a yoga teacher, as a trainer as well. So many years. I think you have something close to like 20 something years in that line of work. Yeah. Okay. And I watch your yoga because I sign up for your yoga, though not as good, but I sign up for your yoga, and some of the strategy you give in there are so powerful and so good. So I can't wait for you to dive in and to share with our amazing woman here some of the strategy to tap into our inner peace as much as we can. So welcome. I love you. I love you. And I can't wait to hear your presentation.
Oh, thank you so much. I love you too. It's so great to be here. Hello, everybody. So great to connect with you all. And so I would love this to be a many different way conversation in the chat. So please, please, please join in on the chat with me, because I think the more present we are, the more interactive, the more you'll get out of this. And so great to be here with you all today. And thank you so much, right, for having me. It's really beautiful to have the opportunity to share with you these tools. And as she said, I have been doing this work in many different ways and expressions for about 17 years, because they are so powerful. The tools of exercise and movement and meditation and breath work sometimes can be a little intimidating, right? We see stuff on social media and we think like, how am I supposed to twist myself like that? How does it work? It doesn't necessarily have to be that. That can be all sorts of different ways for you to achieve a deep state of calm and peace. And as my teacher says, there's many paths up the mountain, right? There's no one size fits all. It really is about figuring out what works for you in a way that works for you in your schedule. So if that sounds good, put a Y in the chat, because I want you to have tools that you are walking away from this session with, so that you are truly feeling empowered. And so what I have today is awesome. Thank you. So I'm going to pull up my slides. Awesome. Okay, let me put that over here, and then let me just pull open the chat as well. And now that I have the slides, can you still hear me and see me?
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You never know, right? When you're like, ooh, next step, please. So what we're doing today, I really am super passionate about sharing about, because I believe that the way you start your day is the way you live your day. And when you start your day with that sense of calm and centeredness, it actually does create massive momentum in your life and in all areas of your life. So we're going to be talking about how you can create your own meaningful morning routine. So put an M in the chat if you have a morning routine already that you love and that you do consistently. I'd love to hear that from you. If that is something that you're doing already, do you have a morning routine that you're already doing? And the question is, the qualifier for that is, how meaningful is it? Because we all have a morning routine, potentially. We all have a morning routine, but whether or not it's aligned with your big vision and truly creating inner peace, well, that's a whole other story sometimes, right? Because a lot of times our morning routine is like, okay, what happened on Instagram? How's Facebook? What's up, TikTok? How you doing, email? And we're like, before we know it, it's an hour later and you haven't done anything. Can you relate to that? Yes? No? 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 Okay, you're awesome. Great. That's awesome. I know that a lot of people definitely can. And with if I'm not intentional, I can definitely relate to that too. So welcome, everybody. So today we're going to be talking about this, and I really hope that you leave with some tools, because when you have a morning routine that you love, it truly does light you up for the day ahead, sets the tone for the entire day, and actually gives you that sense of deep peace and connection, which is, we know, the fast track to achieving your goals, because your alignment and your energy is everything. And really having the foundation for your holistic health and your happiness and your success is what this is all about. Okay, so as we go, please feel free to put any questions in the chat. I would love to hear from you. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. So what I would love to know from you is, with all the things that you have going on in your life, sometimes do you relate at all to this beautiful woman here? All of the things that you get to do in your life, you got to take care of the kids if you have them, do your business, do your work, maybe you get the gym, maybe you have in-laws, maybe a partner, like all of it. So do you sometimes feel that you get into this space where it's like, wow, there's so many things that are vying for your attention that you can really easily start to feel a bit scattered. So let me know if this is something. Put PS in the chats if you really relate to this. And I would also love to know, do you love Post-it notes as much as I do? Because I literally love Post-it notes. So I thought that this was kind of a fun little image, because I really can't get enough of the things because they're so helpful, but that might be speaking to my organizational skills. Anyways, so thank you. Love it. Okay, welcome. And so what we're talking about here, what this woman here, and what I have definitely been in the state of myself, is I would love to know if you can relate to any of these. If you have ever, when you have a lot on the go, when you're in that sort of like, sort of state, you ever wake up either like first thing in the morning or in the middle of the night, and your brain is literally running a mile a minute of like, you got to do all these things, you got to take care of this, you got to do that. And it goes over every mistake you've ever made in your life. One in the chat, if you can definitely relate to that. Two, if you get up and you're like, okay, here we go, get started, let's go. And you end up sitting for more than 3 hours at a time. Put a 2 in the chat if you spend more than 3 hours sitting down every day. Many of you are sitting right now. Not to call you out, but if it's causing all sorts of like, aches and pains and kind of strange noises sometimes when you got to get up. And if you have found yourself in that state of like, yeah, I'd really love to be more consistent with my workouts or my yoga or my meditations or what have you. And you tell yourself, yes, I'm going to do it later. I'll get to it later. And sometimes later maybe happens, sometimes no. So let's see a 3. I definitely have been all of those. And I'd love to hear from you if there's a 4, if you relate to all of those. Okay. Because what I have noticed myself, and especially with a lot of women, especially, those of you that have kids, it can be one of those things where we feel like we have to keep going and be of service to other people and grow your business and do all the things and social media, blah, blah, blah. And so hi, Alice. What's the number for giving up on it later? Yes, we'll call that one 3. Great question. We'll call that one 3, and then 4 is all of the above. So what I call this state of being, I call this, and I've been there myself, I call this the worn out woman, is that we're always on the go, and we're in that like, gotta make it happen sort of mode, and can get into the frantic and frazzled sort of energy. And we maybe get to the point where you're like, okay, this is not working. I'm not feeling good. I'm not feeling clear. I feel like I'm just like on a speeding train of stress and I can't slow it down or get off. Let me know if you relate to that. I've definitely been there. And maybe you kind of realize, okay, I need to take a step back. You get to slow down a little bit, and you decide, you know what? It's a new month tomorrow. We're like near the beginning of the new year. You're getting ready. You're excited. You want to get into the groove with taking care of you and making that a practice, making that part of your day to day. And you start to kind of get into that zone of like, okay, I'm going to figure out a workout. I'm going to figure out a routine. I'm going to figure out these things. And you end up going to YouTube, and all of a sudden you realize, oh, it's been 3 hours. And here's what I'm looking at: baby goats. And you get down this rabbit hole of like, oh my goodness, here's some puppies and some baby goats. Let me know if you can relate to that. Put your hand up if I can see you, or put an LOL in the chat if you definitely have been down the rabbit hole of the YouTube, because I think we all have once or twice. Right? We all have, and it's okay. But that's what happens, right? We get into this like, yes, let's make it happen. And then we can easily get sidetracked, and that's totally normal. And so the reason that I know, the reason that I know all of this so well is that I've been in all of those positions. I'm so grateful to be here with you today. And so it really is my passion to help to share these tools with you, to weave them into your life, because I believe they are the foundation for your holistic health and happiness, and ultimately your success in all areas of your life. So fun facts, I'll just blast through this really quickly. I've taught yoga inside all the power plants here on Maui. Never thought I would do that. It's kind of fun to teach yoga to people wearing coveralls and work boots. I've actually shared the stage with Les Brown and Jack Canfield and got to speak on stage with them and talking about how we can take pauses throughout the day to tap into your true power, your true presence. So fun. But, you know, as I mentioned before, there's definitely been moments when I was at that rock bottom state of like, whoa, I am nowhere close to inner peace. This does not feel peaceful. I do not feel happy. And what I realized is that the key to it, at least for me, and for a lot of the people that I work with, to getting past that point of feeling frantic and feeling frazzled, like I was just saying there, is to truly tap into the essence that you are. How can you start your day from a powerful place? Well, here's a fun story. I accidentally adopted a rooster a few years ago. And why am I telling you this? Well, because it was at that point in my life when I was so depleted, so exhausted, that I literally was like asking for help in whatever form. And I don't know about you, but I believe that the universe totally has a sense of humor. Do you? Your angels, your guides, God, nature, whatever word suits your heart the best, oftentimes can be a little bit funny about things. And so the guide that I got was actually this guy. And the funny thing about it is that because I had no choice but to observe him, because he literally sat outside my window and crowed every morning, I realized that we have a lot to learn from nature. We always know that, right? But how can we tap into this state of calm and groundedness and deep connection by having these rituals and having these routines for yourself so that you can show up? Well, I started to observe this beautiful creature, and he taught me all about consistency. So these are the keys of really creating a ritual for yourself that helps you to tap into inner peace. So consistency. What can you do on a regular basis that really feels good to you and works for your schedule? It shouldn't feel like something that you're obligated to do, right? That's so important. It should feel like something that really lights you up. So that's the first key. So put that in the chat, consistency. How can you then tap into celebration? Because of course, right, we know roosters, that's what their jam is celebrate, right? They sing their beautiful song every morning. So this is where tapping into gratitude, tapping into that essence of looking around and appreciating everything that you have around you. So that's the second C, is celebration. Okay, so consistently celebrating, and then also connecting to the moment, grounding yourself inwards so that you can really tap into that place of calm within yourself, so that you can be in the center of the storm, the eye of the storm, so that even when there's all sorts of crazy stuff going on around you, you can tap into your center in any given moment. That is so incredibly powerful. And sometimes we think, okay, well, what does that mean? Does that mean meditating or what have you? No. I mean, that's part of it potentially, but when we tap into a state of calm wherever you are, you actually become so incredibly powerful, because what you're learning to do is take control of your mind and quiet your mind to come back to a place of presence within yourself. So let's try something fun right here. This is so simple. It's so simple to do. I'm going to lift my fingers up so you can see me. But what I'd like for you to do is just really lightly, if it's safe for you to do so, rub your fingertips together. Okay, so rub your fingertips together, let them come down onto your lap. So you're still rubbing your fingertips together. Close your eyes and see if you can become so aware of your fingertips that you feel the ridges of your fingers. So close your eyes, focus on it, go to the next finger. Make sure you're breathing. Good, go to the next finger. So notice how quickly your mind says, yeah, what's the point of this? What am I even doing? So see if we can come back. That's what we're doing here, is we're training our mind to focus and pay attention, to be present. And now take your fingers and rub them up and down your hands. Rub your fingers up and down your hands. Close your eyes. Feel the sensation. What you're doing here is taking command of your mind, because otherwise it will be running the show. What we're learning to do is command your mind. Breathe, and then pause, bring your hands to stillness, relax your hands into your lap, and keep your eyes closed. See if you can feel the sensation. Focus intently on the sensation of your hands. So what you're doing there is actually the essence of what you're doing when you meditate, but you can do that anywhere. How easy is that for you to do? So put yes in the chat if you're willing to take that tool and use that with you, because when you learn to do stuff like that, you actually become really powerful, because that's the kind of stuff that you can do anywhere to tap into your peace. Because sometimes we think we have to do all these big rituals and routines, which are very important, but how can you tap into your peace in a really challenging conversation? That's you. That's you being able to center yourself. Okay, so that is really quite powerful. So how did that feel for you? Were you able to focus your mind, or did you find you were all over the place?
Was great.
Okay. Awesome.
Challenging, but great.
It's challenging, right? So that's the benefit. And that's the reason why like approximately 80% of people who start meditating stop. You know why? Because it's hard. But it's hard.
Yeah.
It's challenging, right? And that's the rub of it, because the fact that it's challenging actually is what causes your brain cells to mature, which is one of the core benefits of meditation, in addition to lowering your stress levels, your inflammation, tapping into your peace, all that's good stuff. What you're doing is actually nurturing your neurons, so your brain cells, to allow them to mature. And that's only because it's challenging. It's like, I consider meditation kind of like training a puppy. Does anybody here have a puppy? I mean, you probably have children as well, maybe. It's like training a puppy. Yes. So Alice, you felt stressed, like you're wasting time, like when we did this exercise, or when you're meditating? Let me know. So that's the interesting thing, right? Is that we start to hear our brain like, okay, come on, let's do something. Like, should this be more effective? Like, let's go. What's happening when that happens? That is your brain. That is the ego mind. That is the stress part of your brain called the amygdala, that's shifting you into fight or flight, that is distracting you away from the power of the present moment, because it is recognizing that what you're doing there will actually allow you to grow and expand. And it's really, really normal. Yeah. And when you're meditating, exactly. It's so normal for your mind to be very busy. And especially I find with people that they're business owners, or you're very creative, it can be literally one of the most challenging things to slow your mind down and to focus. So I totally get you, and I appreciate your vulnerability. Thank you for sharing that. And you may find that doing things when you meditate, like rather than just sitting there and be like, okay, I'm breathing. And then you're like, I'm thinking about like 5 different things right now. I'm totally not meditating. If you do things when you're doing it, it still counts. Okay. So don't let your brain tell you it doesn't count, because it counts. Okay. So that is what I wanted to share. And then finally, so we have consistency, we have celebration, we have connection. What can you do that makes you feel confident? What can you do that makes you feel like you? That's so important to feeling calm and to feeling peaceful, is when you're feeling good in your body. So those are the 4 C's that I wanted to share with you, that I learned when I adopted this beautiful creature. So let me know if you have any questions about that. And so what I wanted to share with you very quick is that really, when you have this routine that really sets you up for this day, sets you up for holistic health and success, it is truly the foundation for your health, your happiness, your joy, and really propelling you forward with massive momentum, because you're calm and centered, right? We talked a little bit there about when you're in a stress state, you are in a survival part of your brain, and that's very, very, very exclusively focused on keeping you alive. It's certainly not concerned about you creating masterpieces and going out there and changing the world. No, it perceives that as threatening. So it wants you to stay safe and stay right here. But when you are in that elevated emotional state, when you're feeling calm, you're feeling grounded, that is literally the rocket fuel for you manifesting your desires for love, whatever it is for you. That is so powerful. So when it comes to creating your morning routine, first key is to expand the vision. What is it that you are focusing on bringing to life? What is it that you're calling in for your life, your relationships, your family, your growth, your community? Expand the vision of it. And what I mean by that is tap into the version of you that is living in that space already, that fast forward version of you that we know from different parts of quantum physics that already exists within you. Like if you have the dream, then you have the seeds, you have the tools, you have everything you need to achieve it. It's just a matter of practicing that. So who is that version of you? Like, how do they walk? How do they show up? How do they start their day? Do they get down on themselves when they can't meditate because they're like, why can't you shut your brain off? No. Who is that version of you? That's what we want to tap into today. So the first question to ask yourself when it comes to this expand your vision is, where are you going? We need to have a goal in sight so that you know where you're going and you give your mind the opportunity to connect to it in your mind's eye, in your vision, in your meditation, or whatever you do, so that you know where you're headed. That's really quite potent. And then the second key in your meaningful morning routine is to experience it now. So once you get connected to who the you is in your vision, like how they walk, what do they believe, what are their stories that they tell themselves, how do they talk to themselves, how can you begin to give that form? How can you begin to experience it in your body and give it form by embodying it? And that's where you get to use your physical body, because if we're just doing mindset work, if we're saying affirmations, we're doing this, it's great. They're so powerful, but that's only the level of your mind. You are so much more than your mind, and you're not your mind because you can observe it. But in order for you to have lasting change and deep effects of this work, you get to integrate your body, right? And that's so powerful because your subconscious mind, which governs most of your reality, lives in your physical body. It doesn't live in your brain. So we got to really integrate that. And so how can you move? How can you breathe? How can you activate this energy within yourself by really tapping into it? That's the second key. And that's where you can do stuff like yoga or Tai Chi or working out or whatever that feels good to you. Because remember, it has to feel good to you. It has to be a celebration of this day. It has to be something that really lights you up. Otherwise, you're like, whatever, not doing that again. That sucked. Like it really, you ideally wanted to have this beautiful effect for you. Okay, so that's the second key. And then the third and final key is to exhale it into your life. So this is where we get to take action. So from that place of presence, from that place of inner peace, because you're setting the tone for the day with your morning routine, how can you decide on some inspired action to take? Right? And how can you also be so aware of how you're feeling that when you are back in the chaos of the worn out woman, how can you bring yourself back to your center? Okay. How can you ground yourself back in? Because that's really what alignment is all about. Physically, if you're in this position, you're like, oh God, my body hurts so bad. Like I haven't stood up in like 3 hours. Oh, my body hurts. How can you move into a strong physical alignment? How can you feel that energetic alignment that's aligned with your vision? Mentally, are you in the present moment? Are you in a place of peace, or are you in the spirals of doubt and regret and shame and all of that, which happens, right? But how can we bring ourselves back like a puppy, right? Sit, stay, and then we keep coming back to it, right? So that's very powerful. So I realized I didn't say the second question. So the second question was, who am I being? So where am I going? Who am I being? And what am I doing? And that's where you can really bring them all together so that you're weaving it all together. And so that is all summarized on here. So you have the goal, you know who you get to be, what you get to begin to believe and practice within yourself, because what we practice, we become. And then what are you doing? Because part of the not feeling peaceful is from overwhelm and the stories of the mind that take us in all different directions. But what are we doing to move towards the goal intentionally, consistently, on purpose? That is really what will bring you that sense of satisfaction and centeredness. So that is what I wanted to share with you. I'm going to take it off screen share, go back over here, and then check in. How did that land for you? How did that feel? Did you have any questions or anything?
So, Megan, you mentioned 4C, consistency, celebrate, connecting. And what was the last one? I did.
Confidence.
Confidence. Oh, okay.
Yes. So think about that. Like, what is it that makes you feel confident? What is something that you like to do that helps you to tap into that energy? So I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear from anybody that wants to share. Maybe it's dancing, maybe it's, I don't know, gardening. I don't know, like whatever it is that lights you up in a way that leaves you feeling good. I'd love to hear.
First of all, Megan, everything that you said in there is like hearing for a second time after a podcast interview. It just like magnified it even more. So thank you for that. But I took so much note. There's they are very true. You know how some people teach stuff, it's a little bit of fluff. This is reality. It's real. If you put it into practice, you can really go far with regards to this. And yet you simplified it so well, like expand the vision, experience it now. Who are you? Who am I being? Exhale it into your life. What am I doing? So it's very concrete. I love it. It's so good because it embodies everything. I hope for the team, for this amazing woman that I have here, from session 1 to session 6, it seems to summarize well everything that we've been trying to do. So this is a great summary. I appreciate that, but I'll let the girls talk.
You're welcome. I'm happy it's aligned. Thank you for sharing that. So what I would love to hear from you is, when you are thinking about your goals, when you are thinking about that version of you that has crossed the finish line, if you will, the version of you that has brought all that to life, let's just tap into that energy for a second. And even in fact, if it's safe for you to do so, I'll teach you another tool. Bring your fingertips together. Okay, so just your fingertips, all of them, and then let your shoulders relax. So no need to show me, just let them wherever they go. And then close your eyes, and I want you to focus on your fingertips for a moment. And even again, really slowly rub your fingertips together so you can feel the ridges. Sometimes you got to go up and down, diagonal, side to side. And then come to a stop and just breathe. Notice where your breath is in your body, and can you breathe more deeply and slowly? And I want you to, in your mind's eye, I want you to picture someone you really love, like your best friend or your partner or your business partner. Just picture that they were standing in front of you right now. Like you were looking at a picture of them if you can't visualize them, but just picture them right in front of you. And then one of the goals that you have for yourself, whatever one of them was, I want you to imagine that right now, they don't know yet, but you've already completed it. And you are standing in front of them and you're going to go tell them because it just came to life. I want you to feel what's happening in your body right now. Visualize yourself telling them. Are you like jumping up and down and wagging your invisible tail? Are you shaking a little bit? You're so excited. Are you literally so lit up? Feel that. Feel that. Breathe. Give your body the chance to experience this as safe. So breathe. Cultivate a state of calm as you feel this emotion. In order to create change, we need to cultivate calm. Change happens at the speed of safety in your body. So the more you can regulate this right now and really encompass this into who you are, I want you to just let that be. Take another breath and now visualize yourself. You're telling them, how are you right now? Are you excited? Are you happy? Are you focused? And that's what I want you to write down. So go ahead and open your eyes, and I want you to write down either on your paper that question where you said, who am I being? That's the answer. What you just felt right here. That's the answer. Because when we begin to practice that today, by weaving that into your day, was that version of you peaceful? Were they happy? Like, let us know in the chat, because that you already felt it in your body. That means it's already existing in your body. It's available to you now. What we go after and what we seek typically for a feeling and the outcome of it, beyond the money, you know, the fame, what the impact, whatever it is how it's going to make you feel. Because by nature, that's who and how we are. We are emotional beings, energy, emotion, right? So I'd love to hear in the chat, how did you feel? How did you feel? What did it bring to you? What did you feel in that moment? Or feel free to unmute.
I can go first. Oh, go, Liliana, please.
Okay, I was going to say that I felt that like that I was able, like I can do anything. Like it's not anymore questioning if I'm able to do something, and like it doesn't matter, whatever that comes in the future, I know I'm going to be able to handle it.
Oh, I
Like
love
if I
it.
want to, let's say if I want to start a business, if I want to retire from my work now, it's gonna be fine. It felt like
Mm.
it doesn't matter where it comes, I'm gonna be okay.
Oh,
Yes. Okay, let's put our hands up and practice your sparkle wave because we need to celebrate that. Yes, celebrating you. That was so beautiful. And how good did that feel? Like, I want you to just let that sink in because that's the truth, right? It is the truth for you is that everything will work out in your favor. And it's really staying in that place of trust and knowing. And the fact that you tapped into that so quickly is like, yes, that's amazing. So actually, I have some of these for all of you, but gold stars because that's like so important. Okay, so learning to just really recognize that. And so that's what I want you to really lean into and really just how can you tap into that feeling and how can you access that? Because that's so powerful. And how good did that feel? Like how much were you like, yes, this is awesome.
Yeah, like a superhero.
Right?
wow, Lynn,
Yes.
I can't believe you said that. It's so awesome. Oh my God, how much progress have you made? I am just blown away. Megan, you were fantastic. Other people wants to share? I can hear Chantal.
Yeah, I was trying to say something. I was gonna say it was really hard for me to visualize. I have a lot of problems with that, but to visualize, you know, what it was.
Mhm.
But I did manage to get to the end point of like feeling like successful at something that I wanted to complete. And then I just saw myself jumping up and down with my daughters, like
Oh.
in circles and just jumping up and down like we had just won the lottery or something. So
Yay.
that's a feeling, yeah, that I would like to often to just capture, you know, that happy feeling of feeling accomplished. Mhm.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I would challenge you to like detail that out for yourself when we hop off and even now while it's like really fresh. And what I would love for you for the next step for that is besides winning the lottery, but I really hope you do that. Sending you blessings on that. What other things make you feel that way? It doesn't have to be to that level, but anywhere in that spectrum of the like, yay, and celebration, that's what we want to start to practice. That's what we want to start to integrate because when you are in that state of presence within your heart, you are literally fast tracking your progress towards that being your reality because that is, you know, if we look at it from the perspective of energetic alignment of, you know, like attracts like. And when we're in a good mind state, then everything flows and it's fun and it's light, right? Or if we're like, screw this, I'm not doing anything. And then you stub your toe and then you get a parking ticket, you know, and everything just goes to shit. Whereas when we are in that space of opportunity and gratitude and celebration and like, yes, that joy. And I know it's easier said than done. And believe me, as I mentioned to you earlier, I've had days and I've had seasons and I've had weeks and months where it's been really challenging for me, but that is before I really leaned into these different practices. And so I acknowledge that. And it's not always going to be like dancing and leaping about by no means, but what can we do to nurture yourself on a day-to-day? That's the key. That's the magic. Hi, Alice. Lovely to see you.
I think she wrote something in the chat.
I did. I said the one word would be confidence. And I keep muting myself because my kids are running in and out.
Oh.
But I think the overall feeling is that you're confident that you can do everything else that comes along now that you've had a success. Okay, sorry.
That's okay. I love that. And yeah, to go on what you were saying, it's like, you know that you can handle it, right? And the fact is like, I know you, Alice, are handling challenges left, right, and center. Clearly, right? And so it's like, what we're looking for and what you made a really good point about is oftentimes we're looking for proof. We're looking for evidence. And it can be challenging sometimes if we're like, I'm going to win $1 million, I'm going to win $1 million, you know, and then your brain's like, no, you're not. What are you even talking about? It literally will derail your progress. So like starting smaller and looking for evidence anywhere you can, because what we're doing there is you're giving your brain information to prove what you're working towards and what you're working on, right? And so starting incrementally, and it may not be $1 million, but maybe it's like you're manifesting $500 or 1,000 or whatever it is, right? And so it's like, how can we start to give your mind the fuel? Because otherwise your mind it's hardwired to look for the problems, and it's hardwired for that for a reason, survival. But when we start to look at things a little bit differently, oh yeah, just 65K. Yeah, let's go. Tomorrow. I give you the blessings as well. Bing. So yeah, cool. Well, thank you.
I think everyone in the course knows my, my thing with that. So it's yeah.
Well, I have something
Love
for you, Alice, in regards to that. I have a special surprise.
Oh, yay. I'm like, it's 65K.
Yeah, it's a check for 65K. We'll start leaping up and down. Awesome. Okay, cool. Rai, what was your experience when you were doing the visualization?
Oh, it's really, really funny because when I was doing the visualization, I didn't expect it to come this soon, but I saw myself becoming a millionaire and just money flowing down, pouring down all over me. And my boyfriend was standing there. I was jumping out of excitement in disbelief going, is this really happening? And it was just an amazing feeling. I was giggly, I was jumping, I was scared. And it was like, at the same time, I was like, is this real? And it just felt so real. So that was a bit of a shocker for me. So I guess, I don't know. I wasn't expecting, I did a secret thing just for Alice attracting money. And I guess it must be working. And I sign up for something for attracting money as well. So I've been listening to the track. I guess some kind of chakra release, the magnet of the money chakra has been open. The gate has opened. So I'm super excited. Megan, you're frozen. Megan is so in disbelief that she's frozen from my visualization. We'll give her a few seconds because she's in Hawaii. So sometimes like the connection might be a little bit off.
Not much to sacrifice for being in Hawaii. What's a little internet when you got Hawaii?
So wait for her to come back on. We'll give it a few seconds, but how was that? I know that for you, Alice, it's really hard to do visualization. I know Chantal had mentioned she has a hard time tapping into that. And you said you were feeling a bit stressed. Is it the visualization that is stressing you, or it's more in terms?
I was talking about whenever I try to meditate or even just feeling my fingers, I feel like, first of all, I had just cleaned, so my fingers are just like totally shitty right now.
Yeah.
Kind of wet, kind of missing skin. And then I was like, oh God, like I'm just sitting here rubbing my fingers when I should be rubbing so many other things.
Okay, Megan is back. It's so funny, but that's what a lot of thoughts go through people's head, you know?
Hi, what happened?
I don't know, it got disconnected, you got frozen, but I said maybe it's because my visualization was too stunning that you were shocked and then you froze. But you're back now. We can't hear you. I think you're just connecting.
Yeah, there is no volume.
There you go. We can hear you now. Are you there? Oh no, it's frozen again. Oh, you're back.
Is there a volume or no?
Maybe it's just
Wasn't Megan's one of Megan's point consistency? Why she have to be so inconsistent with us?
I agree. Sorry, I don't know what happened. Can you hear me
all
now?
good. It's all good. It's technology.
Yeah,
Sometimes when you have a lot of powerful people in the room, it's, you know, just numbered on things. Believe me, it happens.
Good one.
Oh, yay. Well, does anybody have any questions or anything before we wrap up?
Does anybody have questions? I just wanted to say a huge thank you, Megan. You are so good at this thing, and you gave us so many good tips. Thank you for that. And I know you even went extra to give us a little bit of an extra oof too. So I am super grateful for you. You know how much I love your energy and just your person and what you teach, the true authentic way of teaching these things. So on behalf of girls, and I'm sure they say it themselves as well, thank you for putting it all beautifully, wrapping it all up for me without me having to do it, and just giving me and to give me the gift of the visualization of seeing. I never thought I would actually see it, but to become a millionaire, that it is there. Now I just have to believe it is there. I was actually shocked by the whole thing. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. Absolutely. Yeah, it is there, right? It's just a matter of us tapping into that and learning to truly to take control of our mind, because otherwise it will derail our progress and throw up all sorts of self-sabotage and all sorts of blocks and all sorts of stories. And so as soon as we begin to become more conscious of those, then we can begin to shift them, right? And that's the essence of mindset work, but we have to go deeper than just like saying the affirmations, because we really get to change on a deep level of who and how we see ourselves, and that will start to really open the floodgates for all of that goodness that you got to just experience. And so it's powerful. There's lots of tools to help you to do that. Alice said, when can I see you again? Yes. Cool. Well, actually, on that note of when can I see you again, I actually have a special gift for all of you. So I am doing a virtual mini retreat this Saturday. And so would love to invite you to join us, invite you and a guest. So you're welcome to bring a friend if you'd like. And so I'm going to post the information for that in the chat. So, oops, let me just send that to everybody. Okay, so you can just click on the link and then you can use the code RYE guest if you'd like to join us. And so it's happening from
1 to 3.
I want to say,
no, it's 12. Is it 12 or 1? Let me see. I have it in my calendar. So it's
12
from 12 to 3
Eastern.
Yes.
Yeah. Depending on what time zone you're in, you get to adjust for that. But yeah, so it's a 3-hour mini retreat. And we're actually, one of the main things that we're going to be focusing on there is learning who the captain of the negative committee in your head, which I lovingly, not so lovingly call the shitty committee, because they just talk a lot of smack and they don't make you feel very good. So you'll be learning who that is and how you can take control by learning to think on purpose and truly take some time out for yourself to recharge your energy and truly tap into inner peace. So would love to have you join us. And if you have any questions about that, feel free to either send me a message on Facebook or Instagram, and then we can connect that way. And I'd love to hear when you start to implement some of the stuff that you've learned today, what happens when you open the floodgates and let all the magic happen for you.
Thank you so much, Megan.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, I hope everybody has a great evening or afternoon. It was lovely to be here with you all today.
Thank you. Same here.
You're welcome.
Juliana says
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yay. You're welcome. Lovely to meet you
Bye.
all.
See you soon.
See you
Thank you
soon.
so much, Megan. Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care.
All right. You too.
Bye.
Bye. I'm going to actually share my screen. Here we go. Okay. I just should close this chat. My screen is always full of stuff. There we go. I'm going to go lire du début. All right. Okay, so I hope that session was really, really good and powerful for you guys. I really loved it. So I hope it's going to be good. So let me go here. We want to be able to respect the time. So today, like I said, it's the course about inner peace. And I think a lot of it, Megan touched base on it. So I might kind of repeat, but I expand on some of the things that she says. So let's just dive into that. What is inner peace and why is it important from what you've learned or heard from what Megan just shared? What is it to you?
I think to me, inner peace is not having your mind and your heart racing in fear. Just being calm.
Mhm. Thank you, Alice. Chantal?
Yeah, very similar. I would say that inner peace is just being very calm with yourself, like feeling at ease, feeling at balance, feeling like you're in harmony, I guess, with
Mhm.
yourself. You're not in conflict.
That's a
You
good.
know, yeah, sometimes I talk a lot about being in conflict with my inner self,
Mhm.
but I guess it would be not being in conflict with your inner self.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
when you're in conflict, you're not in the inner peace. You can have a little bit of conflict, but as long as you're able to resolve it to love.
Mhm. Mhm.
Very good answer. Liliana, you want to give a shot?
So based on what we just heard from Megan, it could be also that state and where you feel not just calm,
Mhm.
but in a state of mind that it doesn't matter where it comes of you, you are wise enough to handle it or to reply to whatever situation or to. So it's just that state of mind where you are confident
Mhm.
of whatever happen, you can handle it. Like it's
Exactly.
at the same time it's being calm, but it's because one thing is being calm and relax and just not bothering about anything, but other thing is being calm to handle any adversity.
Exactly. And that's a very, very, very good answer. It's exactly what the summary of what I was about to say. It's having that inner peace is that it allows you to calm your mind, your body, allowing you to see things clearly, to see your path with much more clarity. And it's allowing you to focus and to keep yourself on track with regards to what you want to achieve and what you are trying to bring forward to life in your life. So like she had mentioned, which is basically why for me, I focus a lot on the inner peace because um, inner peace is that place where, like Chantal says it so well, you're no longer in conflict. You're just zen and aligned to your value. When you feel like the core of who you are, your mind, your spirit, your heart, your body is all aligned to one, that's when you're really at the center of inner peace because no matter what happened, despite, and I think she said it well, Megan, which I have another wording around it, is to be so calm in the eye of the storm. That, like you said, Liliana, is having that confidence, knowing that everything will be okay. You got the tools, you got everything that you need to be able to conquer and deal with whatever adversity is thrown at you. So that is the inner peace that no matter, I always I see it as a tree like that's being waved through the wind, the storm, all kinds of weather and horrible weather. And no matter what, that tree is able to maneuver through no matter what circumstance and still stand strong. That is my definition of inner peace. Inner peace is really the ability, it's almost like the matrix, the way I see it, is that if you able to take control of your mind, to be really aligned to your body and your soul, that no matter what happened, it's almost like you see it in slow motion. You are so in control that everything seems to slow itself down. Have you ever had that happen to you where there's a problem and then you see it pacing, slowing down, you see everything so clearly that you're able to make sense and make the right decision really quickly. But people don't know that in your head, everything has slowed itself down. That's what I want to be able to teach you, is that if you work on, and it's practice, my biggest mission that I want to be able to do is to really find my inner peace. I know that I can overcome just about anything, no matter how hard they are, because I work very hard on finding my inner peace and to feeling grounded, because you already have everything that is needed within you, like what Megan had said, all of it, it's inside of you. So very good answer, girls. So next page. And I'm going to try my best to really teach that. It's not an easy concept. It's over practice, but I hope I've given you the basic and the foundation to be able to build something from it. So what are some of the causes of not having the inner peace? Things that throws you off balance. One is try to accomplish too many things at once. And this is kind of my situation lately, where I am juggling, I don't know how many things at once. I have such huge goals, such huge mission, that I'm trying to do so many things at once that I'm feeling overwhelmed, and it's rocking my inner core. I can feel it I feel it in my heart, all the way down to my stomach and my core. Like I'm off balance. And when I feel that, I know that I've lost my inner peace. So when you're trying to accomplish too many things at once, it can really throw you off. So you need to ground yourself and recenter yourself and really come back home to your body. Number two, second cause of why you may not have the inner peace is when you're trying to operate at different levels of energy throughout the day. So for example, you could be working on a particular project that is really, really detail oriented, that needs all of your concentrations and focus. Then all of a sudden you have to shift to doing operational basis, where you have to put out fire. You're constantly running after, trying to get people and shutting down the fire, and moving from that to having to do something more strategic, where you're really having to think far ahead of time and really getting all of the play. When you move in a day at so many different level of energy, you're all over the map. So your energy really throws you off. You're off your center. So be aware of that, because when I feel that, when I'm doing so many different things, either too many projects, too many things, and my energy level is being fluctuated and being asked of me in so many different ways, I know that I have to come back to my body. I know I need to now take a break, either go outside, get some fresh air, or balance it off. Like I need to balance it off. Like when I'm going through one thing, it's one high intensity of high level, and then another of something else. I have to kind of find a balance in between to really bring back my level of energy, so that it won't always be perfect, but at least level it out. You can't have peaks. Too many peaks drains out your energy. So you have to be able to have some high peaks, but overall enough calm that it kind of balances itself out, like the wave. Do you guys follow so far? Okay, so 3, the cause of throwing you off your center and not feeling grounded is when you're being flooded by strong emotions or thoughts. So if you're constantly being flooded by high intensity emotions or thought that keeps you up, that keeps your hamster wheel racing at 100 miles a minute, you won't be able to tap into your inner peace, because those strong emotions elicit too many negative feeling, too many negative thought and catastrophic situation, that it rocks you off your course, like a boat that's being kind of cascade in this huge storm. And when you're feeling all of these strong emotions and thought, and it's constantly racing, you can't think properly. That's why you need to be able to bring back the inner calm, to see things at a slower pace, to really stay grounded and just observe at a distance and really take calculated move. That's why I say that finding the inner peace is almost like, I don't even like the movie, The Matrix. I never really understood it, could never even finish watching it. Apparently it's a really good show. But it's the way I see it, when I have that inner peace, I slow everything all down. I am in control of my situation and in control of my mind and in control of my emotion, because we do have full control over our thoughts and our emotion, even though we feel like we don't, but we really do, if you master how to tap into your inner peace. And the last one, I mean, there's so many other secondary ones, but these are the main one, is number 4 is finding yourself not being aligned to your value, to your core, and to your essence. So you could be doing something in order to please either a colleague or to please your family member, but something just feels totally off. And you can't really put your finger on it, but it just doesn't sit right with you. And you're feeling it in your body. So those are some of the things that really throws you off your ground. You're not being centered. So it's so important when it comes to feeling those emotions is asking yourself question, exploring. You won't be able to find the answer right away. Maybe you will if you've learned to practice enough to listen to your body, listen to your intuition, listen to your guidance, then you would be able to pinpoint it. But usually it takes a little bit of work of really doing the search and asking yourself, like, why am I feeling this way? What is really bugging me? What is throwing me off? What doesn't sit right with me? And then giving it time and asking for those answers, you will find it. All right, so moving on to the next one. These are the 3 categories that I think is so crucial to remember when it comes to inner peace. That if you remember these 3 aspects, you don't have to tackle all 3 of them, but if you remember them and work a little bit on each of them, it helps you to kind of bring that calmness back to who you need to be, what you need to be concentrating on. So the first one, I find this practical, it's good because it allows me to remember, is 1 is your physical. So is remembering to do grounding techniques like what she said with the finger, rubbing your fingers, going from one finger to the next, really different ways to grounding yourself. Even the breathing technique or doing meditation or being in the present moment. And like I taught you with regards to smelling the roses or smelling the popcorn or just really observing the flower, being lost in it. So physically grounding yourself back or just sitting back like against a chair, pressing your back against the chair to feel grounded, you're seated. It allows your body to know that it is being grounded and centered and you're coming back to your body. Number 2 is your mental. When it comes to inner peace, it's so important to practice the mindset to make sure that those mindset, right mind attract right action, right? I think that is the saying, is constantly cultivating that mindset. I mean, perspective is everything. So you have to be able to learn to teach yourself to shift that mindset. If something is not going correctly, and maybe you don't always know what the answer should be, but learning to shift that mindset, to distract it to something else, to only come back to it later. You don't have to solve, people tend to think like, I have to solve the problem here, now, right now. It's better to solve it, leave it for a pause, come back to it. You may have to come back a few times to do that, to be able to solve the situation, and that's okay. But you need to learn to shift the mindset and to reframe your cycle of thinking. So when you find yourself loop into the negative self-talk or whatever the things that you're saying to yourself doesn't seem to be solving the problem or keeping you unhappy, sad, miserable, you need to be able to reframe that. We talked about that, looking for the positive, trying to find the silver lining behind situations that are happening to us. It is very, very important. Reframing it in a way, giving it a new definition. This is something that works so well for me because I reframe everything to the positive. I remember when I was doing an internship with one of my supervisor, and she gave me like it wasn't a bad feedback, but she gave me a feedback that was kind of discouraging, kind of eat up on my confidence, because it was more like like being Asian, I'm a little bit less talkative, and it looks like I lack confidence, but I know I don't lack the confidence, but my behavior exhibit as if I lack the confidence. So when she explained to me, and I know she was giving the best feedback that she could in the most genuine way possible, but I didn't let that hold me back. I said, oh, okay, so if she thinks I'm lacking the confidence, I use that as a tool to push me forward. I reframe it. I'm like, okay, so if that's what she's saying, let me show her how I can actually do it differently. And I know I'm confident as a person. I just need to better showcase it in the nonverbal and my gesture and behavior. So I actually utilize it as a vehicle to fuel me further. And it's the same thing with when I lost my sister. When I lost my sister, it's like, okay, this is really tragic. This is not what I had planned at all for my life. Is it fun? Absolutely fucking not. Sorry for the swearing. But one thing I'm good at is I use it and I reframe it. I'm like, okay, here is a growth, a huge growth, Ree. If you come out of this thing alive, you're going to expand way beyond anything that you can possibly imagine. And I did. I turned it around and I said, okay, it's not fun to lose my sister. She's my best friend. But what is it that I have to learn from this? So I reframe her death. I mean, from taking her life to reframing it in a way that was positive for me. I got to spend 30 amazing years with a sister that we were so close to each other, when people who were aging to the age of 80 and never even were ever close to their brothers or sister. At least I got to spend 30 amazing years with my sister. And I am going to use her death as a vehicle to drive my business and my mission, my value of wanting to help other people become even the best version of themselves. So I use her passing as my fuel to transform my life and to transform the life of other people. So if you become very good when it comes to the mental shift and reframing it, utilize it in a way. And it's the same thing for me when we're playing soccer, Liliana. I am not the best soccer player when it comes to it, but in my mind, I am the best there is out there. So it's all in your thinking. Who's going to discredit you and say you weren't the best if you think you are? So anyway, that's a little spill. And then the third one, so I lost track here. The third one is emotional self-care. We talked about emotional well-being in our third webinar, and this is so crucial, is to be able to find ways to nurture ourselves, to be compassionate towards us, to really connect to who we are, and to really learn to practice kindness. What really shifted for me big time when I started growing, I think when I started growing in my marriage, was the day when I started shifting from being a person who is a high performer, who is a go-getter, super productive, to allowing myself to make mistake, to grow, and to go at my own pace. When I picked up the book on kindness, when it feel like the universe was just speaking to me, I have this special relationship with books where I go into the library, and let's say I'm going through some kind of problem, I'll ask the universe to show me the path. And I'll go through a book and I'll just put my finger on a book. And when my hand starts vibrating, a sensation, I don't know what book I fell on. So I take that book, and that particular day, it was a book about kindness, showing kindness for myself. And I put that into practice. I took it as a sign from the universe, and I start practicing kindness in small increment at a time. And that's what really changed my life entirely. To this day, I have the mental mindset, but when it comes to emotional well-being, I'm not always that good at myself. There are times when I beat myself up when I'm thinking, okay, Ree, you're going back to your old pattern. Let's practice kindness. But when you learn to be compassionate and kind to yourself, it can really change drastically. The emotional self-care is so important to keeping yourself, to finding that inner peace. All right, next one. So the other approach in terms of finding inner peace that has served me very well in my lifetime, and I think for the Buddhist culture as well, we say that the source of our pain and sorrow are a lot attached to the attachment that we associate, that we give, that we link to things, house, career, status or whatever that you want, the lover that you have. Like when you have the connection, the longing, the holding on to something that at any moment when you hold on to something so tightly, it can disappear on you. And so the practice of detachment has been very, very crucial for me. Honestly, it has been what has saved me from going through disasters and chaos. My life 3 years ago could have spiraled completely in a different direction than I am now, but I chose to make my life a good one. And I had faith and I kept going. And I was convinced I would get out of it because it's all in my head. So the practice of detachment is very, very important. And I will teach you what it is. So the first one is identifying the reason for the detachment and the relationship to it. So I'll take the example with my sister. When I've lost my sister, I had to create, and this is, I read from the book of the Stoic philosophy, which is from the Emperor of Marcus Aurelius, a great, great book. It's what has really saved me. It's really the ability to see things for what it is, but not holding on to it, not clinging on to it. They exist. You know, I have my children that I love. I have my partner that I love. But one day, if for whatever reason, that doesn't work out, no, hopefully that won't be the case. But if it doesn't work out, I don't feel the need to hold on to them because they come into my life for a different reason and they brought good things in my life. And I have something to learn from it, that if I have to let it go, it's something that I'm learning to do as well. It's not holding on and gripping onto it. So in the passing of my little sister, I created a detachment from losing her, from the association that I had of this dream that I have of us growing older, having our own children, having an amazing time, teaching them all these amazing stuff. And then I just created a way where I did a detachment from longing to have her, that she was no longer with me anymore. It's to create this type of distance and this kind of protective barrier between me. Like I had to protect part of my heart, and it almost felt like a little bit robotic, but it isn't. It didn't take away from the fact that I love her more than anything in the world. But I'm letting go that this was her destiny, that she was no longer to be with me. The dream that I have for us was no longer going to take place. And so in order to stay alive, to survive, I needed to create that detachment, that I was thankful to have her for 30 amazing years, to have the love that we have. We would die for one another. But to create that type of distance and not to cling onto that relationship is I celebrate what we had, and I was okay to letting go. It took me time. I'm not going to say that it was easy, but when I understood the perception, the ability to do the detachment, it has allowed me to do that. The second thing of detachment is to release the emotion. So knowing that I felt all of this pain, all of this sorrow, the grief, the loss, I let those emotions go through me. I feel it, I acknowledge them. And once I've acknowledged them, I let those emotions flow out. I released them. I didn't hold on to them. I didn't cling on to them. There was a time when I cling on to the emotion of wanting to be so close to my sister that it draw me into a dark place, that if I stayed there, I would have been stuck. So it's not to do that. It's to allow those emotions to flow, to acknowledge them, to know that you're having a hard time through it, but allowing it to release is what's going to free me. So that's what I did. Number 3 is to not react, but to respond. So when I was going through my divorce, when my ex was not being amicable or being civil, my first intuition is to react, to respond, to show, to teach, to really, let that emotion express itself. but I didn't, because I knew that doing that didn't get me the result that I wanted. And when we talk about trying to do the inner peace, it's being aligned with my core, being aligned to the person that I am. I didn't want to forget who I was. And the person that I wasn't a very reactive person. So what I did was I chose to respond. I chose to detach from the situation, to observe the situation and choosing my response carefully, so I'm not fueling the fire. Number 4 is starting small. And this is what Megan had mentioned, is like doing it small, because your brain wants to look for proof, whether you're going to be able to succeed, whether you're going to be able to come out of this thing alive. And so you need to be able to do small little action that proves to your brain, because it's constantly looking for the negative, to prove to your body, to imprint it into your body, that level of confidence. As I start to rebuild my life, as I start, if I let the situation overwhelm me about losing my sister, then going through a divorce and finding the money to, where am I going to go live? How am I going to fix the house, the plumber, the grasses? I don't know anything. And how am I going to be able to do this, raise 2 kids, and then having a career, juggling everything, doing my business, honoring my sister? It was just too much to think. So what I did was I tackled on the small little thing to prove to myself that I was capable. What I did was I took small little steps. I trusted myself that no matter what happened, even if I can't figure it out now, I know from everything I've gone through in my life and from the core of my being that I will pull myself out of it. So I took small steps to prove to myself that I was able to do it. So what I did was I started a business doing what I'm doing now to prove myself that I will be able to find that financial to be able to free myself from the situation. When I came here, I didn't know a whole lot. I didn't know how to fix things. I didn't know anything about the house. I went to actually get some help so somebody can show me what it was to actually bid for a house, what you have to look for in terms of a house. I did small little increments of step, and every single step proved to me that, okay, I'm getting stronger and better. And the more you start getting stronger, give yourself that permission. You're not going to always succeed, but as you build up slowly, little step and staying in action, you'll get better and better. So start off very, very small. And then I kept a journal for myself to allow myself to grieve the different emotion. Different days are easier, other times it may be more difficult, but keeping a journal allows me, because the memories forgets. I forget things, but when I track it into my journal, it allows me to go back a month ago, situation that I was dealing with, that I was having a hard time. Where was my mind at? How was I seeing my solution? And how am I seeing my solution now? And what is differing from it? And what did I learn from it so that I don't make the same mistake? So journaling has allowed me to, sometimes it's journaling things that nobody else is going to read. So think of it like when you're writing in your journal, it's for yourself. Nobody else is going to read it. And I keep it locked up. It's for my own private viewing so that I can have insight into it myself, because it's different when you read your journal 1 or 2 days later than the day that you actually wrote it. You really get a perspective for yourself. Number 6 is meditate. If you can, not everybody's able to meditate. I cannot say that I'm good at meditating. I'm not very good at doing meditation, but I do meditation in different form. My meditation is working out. So when I actually work out in the morning, I allow myself, when I'm working out and I'm kind of taking breaks, a little pause of like 30 to 1 minutes break. It allows me to really connect with my body, to scan my body, to see what I'm feeling, what's going through my mind, what's racing in my head, what am I worried about? So that allows me to process the informations and all of these feeling and letting it go. So that's my meditation. For you, and maybe just walk in nature, or just, I don't know, it could be something else, listening to music. There's so many different forms of meditation. And like Megan had said, for most people, thinking of meditation seems to be so complicated. The thing that she said with her hand and doing with your the tips of your fingers, there's so many different forms. You want to look it up on the internet. There's so many different tricks that you can actually do to really recenter yourself. And number 7 and 8 are my 2 favorite things that I like to do. 7 is being patient with yourself. This aligns back to the kindness. So being patient with yourself is so crucial. When I was going through the situation with this, I think 9 months into trying to survive and doing what I needed to do from the passing of my sister at the mark of 9 months, because I didn't allow myself to really feel that much. I needed to be operational. I am very good when it comes to, I know my own strength. When it comes to chaos, I am good at sailing through it. And then I hit a mark where I have to deal with my emotion. So at 9 months, I was not able to give as much energy as I would have liked. So I actually had to take a break. At the time I was working at a clinic, and so I had clients and it was going very well. But then I had to reduce my hours so that I can tend to myself, because my level of energy, somehow at that particular period of time, nothing was going right for me. I just didn't have the energy. I didn't have the time to invest as much as I wanted to. Rather than beating myself up, I was being patient with myself. I cut down my hours. I explained it to the owner of the clinic. And so that way I was being honest and authentic to value me, but also to my patient, because when I'm with that patient, I'm fully 100% with them. Then if I took so many clients, I wouldn't be there. And number 8 is looking forward. It's, for me, what I did as a strategy was to implant in throughout the years. When I think too far ahead of time, it almost feels impossible that I'll ever succeed. So what I did was I planned throughout my year for the different season, summer, spring, autumn, and winter. I implanted different things to look forward to. Like I would purposely choose a goal for the summer, what's to come, to look out for something that's positive. And then the springtime, have a project that I was working towards. And by looking forward, it gave me a sense of something that I can work towards. It kept me going instead of being stagnated. So looking forward to something is so, so good for you, because it gives you that motivation that your life is improving. It gives you hope. It gives you a sense of being in control. So I hope that was helpful. Next thing is I want to show you a video on detachment. This girl was an influencer, and the video is not ideal. But what she is saying really feels true. And what I share with you is always from the core of who I am, and somebody else who does it that really understand the concept of detachment. So hopefully it visually would help you understand it better. So I'm going to play it.
My loves, welcome back to Lab and Dare. I've been quieter on social media lately, partly because I felt less of the need to post, and partly because my life behind the scenes has been a whirlwind of change lately. My theme for 2021 is peace, and I feel like I'm learning more and more how to find peace within, regardless of what happens outside of me. Today, I want to share how to find peace even in challenging times. The key to peace is to learn and practice detachment. Detachment means to disassociate two things from one another, like yourself from something that is not yourself. Detachment is a practice that takes time to understand and master. It's taken me years since ever learning about the concept. It can make sense logically, but still be hard to do. Just like any other habit or mindset, it takes practice and repetition to ingrain. So be patient. First, detach your sense of self-worth from everything, especially anything outside of your control. Your looks, your education or career, your money, your family, your significant other, what others think of you, everything. Your true worth is not in what you have, but in what you are. You want to find your sense of self-worth in something deeper, intangible, like your soul, the very fact that you are alive, a living, breathing human being. Your existence is worthy enough. You don't need much more to prove your worth, regardless of what society wants you to believe. As an influencer, I used to tie my sense of self-worth to the numbers, how many views my videos would get, how many followers I gained. And if those numbers were dropping, I'd feel anxious, like I'm failing. You kind of have this anxious need to keep posting and posting for fear that you'll become irrelevant and a failure once you stop. I realized that due to the way I was raised, I had tied my sense of self-worth with how successful I was. I had to succeed in order to gain approval and love from my parents. So at school, at piano, at career, whatever, which meant that I attached success with love. Any taste of failure threw me into a nervous wreck because it meant something really scary to me, lack of love. The reason why I'm more at peace now is because I've spent years untangling my self-worth from success and career, and now I feel more detached than ever, and it's incredibly freeing. I can still feel worthy and loved even if my career isn't succeeding, even if I'm not posting, even if I have nothing external to prove my success and worthiness, because I find that worth within me. Secondly, detach from any expected outcome. Release your expectations for what you think should happen, how your life should go. If you're tied to one scenario, you'll be really disappointed if life doesn't go the way you want. Don't hold on too much to an expected outcome that you can't entirely control nor predict. Detach. Instead, live in and stay grateful for the present moment because tomorrow is not promised. The present moment is your place of power. It's the only place where life is real and you can take action, change your mind, connect with people, and make a difference in your life. The present is a gift. Live here, love here, and expect nothing more. Right after the new year, my most valuable member of my team, my right-hand woman for the past 4 years, unexpectedly left the team. She was the first person I ever hired for Lavendaire and became an integral part of everything behind the scenes. The hardest part was the abrupt ending, so I have been and am still working on transitioning through that. Although a part of me probably wished for a better or easier outcome, this was the one that happened for me. If I was attached to my ideal outcome, I'd be frustrated and in disbelief at this one. But with detachment, I'm more willing to accept this outcome with ease and use the present moment to ask, what's the best thing I can do about this right now? Instead of dwelling on the outcome I wished had happened, I've accepted and adapted to this one. And in the past week, I've hired 3 new people to the team, beginning a new trajectory that I wasn't expecting for this year. Third, detach from your thoughts and emotions. I know this one sounds abstract. How can I detach myself from my own thoughts and emotions? They're a natural part of me. It makes more sense if you've read some books on spirituality. I recommend The Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer. You are a soul living in a human body with a human brain and human emotions during this lifetime. Your soul is formless and timeless. It is the quiet observer of everything that you experience in life. Most of us don't spend enough time or effort quieting our minds to feel the presence of this soul, but I'm positive that you felt it at some point in your life. If you close your eyes and a thought pops up, pay attention to the 2 parts that need to exist. Someone is doing the thinking and someone is doing the observing. Your mind is thinking and you are observing. You are not your mind. You are the observer of your mind and your emotions too. Meditation is one thing that builds this awareness you have for the quiet observer that is your soul. With this realization and practice, you'll notice that you're able to observe your thoughts and emotions as they come and go. You don't have to attach meaning to them other than that was simply a thought or this is simply an emotion I am feeling. You don't have to identify with that thought or emotion or let it escalate into something more. You see it and feel it, but know that the thought or emotion is not you and it will pass. Learning to detach from your thoughts and emotions is life changing. You'll be able to ride the waves of life easier, see more clearly, and accept yourself for who you are right now. I'm curious, have you been able to detach yourself from your thoughts and emotions, even for a little bit, or do you still feel entangled in them? Comment below with where you are in your journey. I hope you gained some knowledge or inspiration today on how to cultivate healthy.
So I want to hear what you guys have to. I want to hear what you guys have to say with regards to that. Oh, man, let's just come back to the other patient. Okay, there you go. Just a little, what do you think of that? What really speaks out? Just one thing, what speaks out for you from watching this video?
For me, I at first I was like, "Oh, that's a little shit," and then I was like, I like the part about once she said that there is the mind, and then there that produces the thoughts, and then there's the observer, and it does feel like that. It feels like you are the observer of these thoughts, and you do have the power. We do have the ability to just kind of say, "That's a thought." I mean, you think about, hey, I'm gonna kill this guy because he's such an asshole, but you don't do it because that's just a thought, and you can walk by it and recognize it for just a thought. So yeah, it's something that I think is super helpful in letting go of like the crazy, overwhelming feelings that we can get from these thoughts.
Yeah, and Alice, if you just practice that one concept, you'll see it will drastically change your outcome. Your thoughts and your emotions, they don't have to define you. They're just thoughts and emotion. People don't understand that. The fact that you picked up on it is very crucial. You are the observer of your thoughts and your emotion. You can pick and choose. You're always in control. It will try to convince you it's the other way around, but you're the one in control, unless you want to give it control to your thoughts and your emotion. Very good. Thank you so much, Alice. Liliana, Chantal, anything stood out for you?
No,
Sorry, I was
for me it's sorry, Shanta. It's the concept is new to me, so I don't know. She recommended a book there about spirituality.
I bought the book, The Untethered Soul. It is really, really good. It's like pretty much most famous actors, all these great successful people has read the book.
What is the name of the book, sorry?
It's The Untethered Soul. I'm gonna actually share it in our group, in our
Okay.
group, and so that you have it. And I'll put this video in as well, like if some people might need to. Detachment is a really hard concept to grasp, and it's not something that's widely known as well. So I understand what you're saying, Liliana, but detachment is a huge one. I find, anyway, for me, I can only speak for me. In my lifetime, if I master detachment, it is going to be big for me. I know it has already worked in many miraculous way. It has taken away the pain. Like when I don't attach an outcome or associate to things or longing or holding on to things, they exist. Like I have amazing family, I have amazing love life. They come and go, like, and I love friends. It's not that I don't cherish it. Actually, I cherish it more, but I'm not holding on to it to fulfill a certain need for myself. So yes, it is a very hard concept. And if I find other article that will be worthy, I will share it in the group so that you can get to familiarize, but you can look it up as well on your own too. But if I find something interesting, I'll definitely share. Chantal,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
It's kind of like the same thing. I even wrote it down when she says that you are the observer of your mind and soul,
Mhm.
and that your mind is not in control. You are. I've heard that so many times before, and I've always had trouble like grasping that one. And then when she said the thoughts and emotions are not you, I'm kind of in conflict with that one too. I'm like, well, hold on a second. Like I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that video again and try to make some sense of it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like I know what she's trying to say. I know what she's saying because in studying all this consciousness and unconscious stuff and listening to all the podcasts that I've been listening, I know it makes sense, but there's still part of it that I'm not buying completely into,
Yeah, it feels like it's not like it's not something that you've been taught. So it almost feel like kind of
Mm.
off. Like how could your thoughts and emotion not be a part of you?
Yeah.
We are a soul in a human body.
That I get, that I can comprehend.
Yeah.
Right. Like that part I get.
Mhm.
But then I mean, like all our experiences, everything we've lived, it's our brain that remembers, and it's our body remembers it too. Right.
Mhm.
Everything remembers it. So it's kind of like intertwined, it'll go together. So it's kind of like conflicting for me.
Yeah, it's hard for you to understand. No, I totally get it because like the one thing that I find that people when it comes to thinking about our thoughts, they're just thoughts. Like you understand the concept that thoughts are just thoughts. And like Alice gave a great example in terms of like somebody on a road rage. "Arr, I want to be able to do something really bad to the person, but you realize it's a thought that you have. Yes, they are intertwined with who you are, but they're not you per se. They are a thoughts. Like people think that when you have a thought, it must be true, but oftentimes those thoughts don't always tell us the truth. Thoughts are something that either was passed on to us, that was shared, that was societal, being bombarded, all of the social media, what we grew up with, our parent passed on. That's what it also aligns to, is that thoughts are not necessarily a part of you. It's what was given to you and genetically and your ancestor and all of that. So all of that comes to you. You are an observer in that thoughts that you have. But yeah, I get it. So
Programming. Yeah.
yes, exactly. It's a little bit of that, and the little bit of the soul as the observer watching your thoughts and your emotion.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely rewatched a video to kind of try to get a little bit, but when it doesn't, like, it's good that you question that so that you're looking for a deeper meaning to better understanding. So I'm glad you said that. And what I really like about what she said too, we all know, but yet we still are guilty of it. And I am guilty of that as well, is that associating my worth with how much I accomplish, how much things I do. Like what she said it for her, the number, when she starts seeing the number of likes decreasing, like how that affected her own self-worth. But the truth of the matter is that your true worth is really about what you are. It's who you are. It's your soul. You don't need to be defined by anything else. But oftentimes in our society, as we were young, we've been taught, we've been programmed that our worth has to be associated with our performance, our athleticism, what kind of talent, how much money we can provide. Like all of that, it's none of it is our fault, but at the same time is to come to the realization that just the pure existence and being of who we are is enough in terms of our self-worth. That really drove home for me. That really like was a good reminder to me, like, especially when I am working crazy amount of hour dedicating to so many different projects at the same time and being a high performer, wanting to see it succeed. And that's great because I have a driven passion for it. That's great. But it also could be, on the other hand, a double sword for me. And so I'm very well aware of that. And so to know that just being my existence as who I am, although I don't need the gratification, the recognition from other, I was never one to be like that. But I've learned, I've been programmed that in order to prove of my self-worth, I need to be accomplishing all these things, and the money and the luxury has to come along with it to make me feel like I'm worth something. So this, for her anyway, in terms of that really spoke to me. It was a good reminder for me. So thank you for you ladies sharing. And I want to be able to help you with this one in terms of when we talk about inner peace. You hear it all the time about being in the present moment. And I can't disagree with that in any other way, because it seems to be the only thing that really helps to ground me and to really help me in terms of finding my inner peace. Today, I was sitting here and I was working on so many different projects. And I thought to myself, what would bring me back to my center? And the only thing that did it for me was to sit back, to put everything down, to just be an observer, looking around at my house, taking in all of the visual, everything that I'm seeing, and being in that present moment of gratitude as well, getting excited about the presentation that I'm doing. So I want to be able to teach this of being in the present moment, and thank God for my children. They gave me the greatest gift of being present, because without them, I wouldn't understand the concept of being present in the moments. So let me share some of the techniques and strategy of how we can really get into our inner, finding inner peace, which Megan touched base on some of it. Okay, so how to be in the present moment. So here are the 7 strategies. So this is from the verywellmind.com. So one, I thought this website was really good because I read so many other ones, and it was on and off, but this one spoke very, very well to my core. So one is noticing your surroundings. So exactly what I was saying just a moment ago is I actually had to take in, be in awe, just be an observer of my surrounding, just watching and getting lost into looking at plants, looking at my surrounding, observing my table, looking at the like the crust, or the how do you say, like, you know, the wood has all of these fine lines, and really just immersing myself, being in like a discovery mode. So it's noticing your surrounding to ground yourself back into the present moment, so that your mind is not wandering off. It's either wandering off, either always in the past or always in the future. It has a hard time staying in the present, but the present is like, you hear it all the time, the present is all you got. And if you master in being in the present, there's a sense of joy. Well, yeah, for me anyway, there's a sense of joy I'm able to feel in right away. That really helped me a lot. So by noticing your surrounding, being in awe, being in self-discovery, really allow you to tap back into the moment and be present. Number 2 is focusing on one thing at a time, and not multitasking. This I'm very guilty. I love multitasking. I like to do many things at the same time, but we know in research that there's no such thing as multitasking. We think we are multitasking, but it's that I know for myself, my type of personality is I get bored easily when I work on a project for too long. So I like to have many projects running at the same time, so that in case that it bores me, I can jump onto another project. But I realize when I'm trying to tackle so many things at once, I'm not getting myself that much ahead. So like, I mean, this is like in the last couple of weeks, trying to do too many things, and then I start getting overwhelmed. I actually have to bring myself back into focusing on one task at a time. And when I want to escape or want to go and do something else, I just remind myself, let's finish the task at hand. When that task at hand, and giving myself the time and the flexibility to be able to do it, and chucking it down slowly, one bit at a time. And then when that task is finished, then I can move on to the next one. And it allows me to calm my nervous system. When I'm trying to do too many things at the same time, you're running on adrenaline and it becomes like an addiction. So I know that I get hooked on the addiction. So the way that I counter it is to come back to focusing on one task and completing that work. Number 3 is being grateful for what you have now. We hear it all the time, but it is very true. And if you learn to be grateful for the things that you have, despite of things that may not go right, it may be chaotic, but being in that moment of feeling gratitude of what you have control in that particular moments allows you to expand the positive energy and the vibration around it, that all of a sudden, when you go into the gratitude mode, you're able to see things. It's almost like you change lens. Well, that's how I see it for myself. It's like, okay, I wake up one morning and it's a really bad day. So my lens, it's all cloudy and blurry. And then when I go into tapping into gratitude for what I have, either my home, that it's a home that I like, that I am actually able to decorate it the way I want, which I wasn't able to do in my other house, and to be able to feel gratitude, to be able to do the type of work that I am able to help people make a difference in their life, that I have children that I love and adore, and they're so good to me. So when I just focus on what I do have right now that's working well, I'm not in like a huge situation of chaos, or, I have a lot of work, but I'm grateful for those work, and thanks for those work, it allows me to grow. So when I'm actually able to focus on those aspects, it allows me to grow and expand the joy and the happiness. I mean, it doesn't mean that it's always going to be like that, but when you're able to tap into being grateful for things, it's easier to go through your day just slightly a little bit better. Number 4, and this is a hard one for most people, it's accept things as they are, not how you want them to be. I remember when I was actually going through a hard time in my life, where I couldn't understand. I was doing all of the internal work for myself. I was doing therapy. I was in psychology and learning all of these things that I should have known. And I tell my clients all about it. And yet I seem to constantly encounter problem and having pain and sorrow from it, and not understanding why. I've learned all of this, and yet I'm still encountering problem, and they're still just as difficult. Until it dawned on me one day that I was trying to fight against life, which is life happens. When I go with the flow, that I accept that there are things that are beyond my control, things happen and they may not take place the way I had imagined it, doesn't mean that you can't dream or hope for different things to have a certain outcome. You can. But again, going back to the detachment, I'm not lingering and holding on to it, that it has to happen, because if it doesn't happen, then I'll be defeated or it's the end for me. Is that the moment I learned to accept that life's a full of ups and downs, and I accept things as they come. And there are times when I will fight it. There are things that I am doing in my current life. I'm like, I want it to come out this way. Like an example for it, when I was actually working with my employees, I wanted to drive the team in a certain direction, and I was doing everything that I can, and it seems to be going in the opposite direction. But the moment I learned to accept, to see it for what it is, and to run with that flow, and to work with those strengths that of what is happening at the current moment, and listening and tuning in, everything flows so much easier. So learn to accept things as they are. Doesn't mean you have to like it. And that some of the things may disappoint you. It's not the way you had imagined, envisioned it to take place, but it's okay. It's learning to run with that and knowing that you'll be okay. That this moments of bad time, it's just temporary until you get to a better place. Number 5 is practicing mindfulness meditation. So being in a present moment is, if you can, I mean, not everybody's able to do mindfulness meditation, but it's just being aware, it's being intentional of the things that you do. So when you're doing this meditation, like she said, is tapping into coming back to your core, scanning your body, being in touch with who you are, really what your essence, what your value, what you are as a person, and doing that meditation and self-reflective, that we don't actually take the time to really think. One of the things that I really enjoy on when I actually was off on maternity leave with my kids was having those moments where I just stare in the blank and reflect on my life and my course of life. And I always remember every time I had my maternity leave, or when I go on vacation for a little bit longer, and just having that moment to be by myself, to reflect something, I have so much insight, so much growth. So practice when you can in so many different forms, different ways, whatever speaks to you in terms of mindfulness. Meditation is to connect to your body. It's just being in touch and being reflective. Number 6 is spend time with people who makes you feel happy and fulfilled. This is very important in terms of being in the present moment. You know, spending time with people that really cheers you on, that lifts you up, that gives you a spark to a little zest in life. I know that when I'm low in terms of energy, or when I'm finding like my body is having a little bit of a harder time, like when I get to see Chantal, when we're going to work out on CrossFit, it just gives me a boost. Like, I'm like, you know, I had such a busy, hectic day, and then we go and get oxygens by working out, which I don't particularly like doing CrossFit, but it was good for us. But I actually get to spend time with a friend that I really enjoy. And even if it was seeing her, we barely get to talk in that course, but just seeing her presence, seeing who she is, and seeing the progress, and hearing about things that's happening, and just connecting. It is so fulfilling. So you want to be able to spend time with people who really cares and love and cheers you on. It really gives a zest into your life, meaning to it. Number 7 is being mindful of everything you do. And really, like I mentioned before, it's being intentional about everything that you do, the decision that you decide, how you show up every day, every morning, what you plan on doing. Is just being mindful, just being an observer of it, is taking note of everything. Is to just become aware. You don't have to agree or disagree or judge it. We tend to want to judge it. It's just to be mindful and to observe it, and know that you are the one in control making that decision. You are choosing today. I am choosing to be in this state of situation. Today, I am choosing to not be happy. Today, I'm choosing to be sad, and that's okay. You can be in any state that you want, as long as you're being mindful and intentional. Nobody's there to judge you. You do it for yourself. And number 8 is practice deep breathing exercise if you can, for sure. So I know that when I get really stressed, an instant thing that I do, I never really like, I don't even understand the deep breathing technique thing, but I do it in the way that I can do it for my body. There's so many different video that's there that's really good. Is I actually just take 3-4 deep breaths, and to just allow my body to calm itself down. Like, I'm calming down my nervous system, because I know that when I'm anxious, when I'm on the fight or flight or freeze mode, I cannot tap into the best version of me in order to execute and make the right decision for me. So I know that I need to do these deep breathing just to calm myself, to center myself, to calm my brain, to relax my body, so that I can think clearer and have more clarity. So if you can, try to do some deep breathing, and you might need to practice with regards to that, and that's okay. But it's just a matter of just doing the inhale and then pause. It's the pause and then breathe out. Don't forget to pause. It's the pause that really makes a huge difference. It's pause, holding it in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and letting it out. All right, so I want to be able to do something. I was thinking of everybody and I was thinking of Alice. And since I will be sharing some video for you, I signed up for a program in terms of attracting money and unlocking the code of the chakra, which got me fascinated about chakra because I don't understand chakra. I don't know what it is. But now it has really opened up a new line of tapping. Like now I'm going to get into a session about learning all about chakras and stuff. But I will be sharing this video because I hope that it will really tap in. Like we talk about inner peace, I want to be able to give you that. And a part of it is I figure we all need money. So why don't we all entertain yourself about doing a little meditation? It's going to take about 10-15 minutes on attracting money. And I thought it would be fun. And if it works, great, more money to all of us. So I'm going to go into this and I will be sharing that thing that I signed up for and paid for about how to attract abundance and more money into your life. I will share that in the group, as well as other articles as well that I found very good. But something has happened in my frequency. I don't know what's going on, but something has been released. I don't know who's doing the work or what has happened. The fact that I had the thing with Megan and visualized that, I know something broke, like something has released itself. So I hope that it can do the same for you. All right. So here is a little meditation. So whenever you're ready, I will ask you to, it will tell you to also close your eyes and really be with this. This is a gift to all of you. And I want to teach you how to attract as much manifest things in your life so that you can have the best life as much as possible. So here is a version, a little gift about money.
Welcome to this guided meditation to manifest unexpected money in 48 hours or less. If you begin by finding a quiet space where you can be comfortably seated, or you may be lying down, make sure to have your back straight, allowing your channels to connect with the divine, and place your palms facing up in receiving mode. If you first begin by taking a deep inhale and slow exhale, allow your eyes to gently close as you allow yourself to relax deeper and deeper as you continue to breathe a deep inhale, slow exhale. Allow your mind to suspend all thoughts and to comfortably connect with the energies of the sounds you are hearing, the delta dream waves, to allow the body, the mind, the soul to align with the highest of frequencies for receiving what you want to manifest. Again, take a deep inhale, slow exhale. Allow yourself to bring your attention, your focus towards the third eye, in between the two eyes, just above the eyebrows. Rest your attention there. continue to focus on breath. By focusing on the sound of the breath, you are allowing your mind, your body, your spirit to be entirely present in this moment now. As you enter into the most powerful manifestation dimensions, whilst you visualize towards the third eye, a bright light starts to appear. A gateway, it's shining, it's bright, it's powerful. And while you breathe and you focus towards the third eye, you notice the pressure building up. It's building up and it's becoming greater and greater. Keep your attention towards the third eye. And see the light, it's powerful. In the center of the portal, in the center of the light, I'd like you to see yourself, the back of yourself. You're standing there. You're standing there, powerful. Your chest is open. Your arms are open. Your palms are facing outwards. And I'd like you to feel this connection, the divine connection, as you breathe and allow yourself to become one with this present moment. You are here now in this manifestation portal. And as you continue to breathe here, while you are 100% alert and present in this moment now, you notice appearing in front of you money. There's notes, there's coins, they're just appearing right in front of you. They're just falling from the sky. Money is everywhere. There's an abundance of money out there. And it's right in front of you, all around you. As you look towards the left, you see money. You look towards the right, you see money. You look all around the ground, you see money everywhere. And know that there is an abundance out there, right here, right now, in this moment in time. And as we continue to visualize this abundance of money, this abundance of wealth, that's just falling from the sky. And it's everywhere all around us. And as we breathe, we are allowing ourselves to become one with the vibrations of wealth and abundance. Continue to visualize and continue to focus on all the money around you everywhere. There's all notes and all coins. There's fives, there's tens, there's hundreds, there's thousands. There's tens of thousands. And it's all around you. While you see yourself stood in the center of the light, you take a step forward. Allow yourself to take a step forward in this space. And take a few steps forward into the money. Everywhere you look, you see money. And while you're here, absorbing these abundance codes, I'd like you to listen clearly to these words and feel every word. I am wealth. I am abundance. There is abundance all around me, and I attract abundance. I attract wealth, and I attract money. Money is always coming my way. I am a money magnet. I am open to receive an unlimited amount of money coming my way. My mind is open. My body is open. My spirit is open. And money always effortlessly comes my way. I feel how lucky I am. This special feeling, this powerful feeling, this effortless feeling, and this knowing from deep down inside of my heart, I feel wealth and abundance. That is who I am, and I attract who I am and what I am. When I win, nobody else loses. There is abundance for everyone. And I just happen to be in this moment entirely aligned with this wealth frequency. I'd like you to take your left palm, place it over your heart, and your right palm, place it over your heart. I'd like you to take a deep inhale and a slow exhale. I'd like you to feel the gratitude for all that the universe is doing for you. Feel the love, the unconditional love, the abundance of love. Feel the joy and feel the peace in knowing that everything will come your way. And allow your emotions to amplify in abundance, in wealth, in peace and harmony. And while you do, you allow money to immediately come your way. You are a powerful vessel. The money can come to you instantly without you thinking or trying. It will arrive at the most unexpected times, in the most unexpected scenarios, without you trying. Those are the powers of the universe, and those are the powers that are within you. Take a deep inhale and slow exhale. Allow the portal to start closing off. Place your attention towards the third eye. With every inhale and slow exhale, you allow the lights to slowly close off as you conclude this powerful guided meditation. You bring your attention towards your palms and your heart. You feel the gratitude, you feel the love, you feel the divine powers, the divine energies. You feel wealth and abundance. And you have the knowing that you do not need to try. The universe will have it all organized for you. Take a deep inhale. Slow exhale. Relax your palms facing down. Relax your body. Slowly bringing yourself back into this moment now. Slowly finding your senses. Take a deep inhale. Slow exhale. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes.
All right. When you're ready, come back. And I want you to really feel all of that emotion and that sensation. And remember it and see it and feel it. Know that you have all of the wealth, that you are a magnet of money, of wealth, of abundance, and that money is, you are everything that the universe is ready to give to you, and effortlessly you attract it. Okay, I want you to open your eyes. Remember that amazing feeling, whatever emotion that really spoke to you. And then I want you to share with me how that meditation, I know it was long, but I wanted to make sure that you did the whole entire thing. How did that feeling, what came up for you, and how did you go through this process? Alice or Chantal, it's just the two of you guys.
Yeah, in all honesty, for me, it was really hard.
Mhm.
I was like Alice before, where she felt like she was just like she couldn't stay put, like because she had to do something. I was feeling that. I was feeling very anxious that I couldn't.
Mhm.
And I think that the setting too, just being in front of the computer, sitting,
Mhm.
usually when I do this kind of affirmations, I'm like in my bed, I'm about to go to sleep, and I'm calm, and I have absolutely no good enough reason to get out of my bed anymore. So I feel like I'm fine there and I can do it.
And
So
you'll
yeah,
get to do that. You get to do that. And it's good that you know that for you, because that's where, again, when I talk about this thing, like I want you to at least live through the process, and then I'll share it into the group. You get to practice. But I really want you to experience from the beginning till the end. Even if you have a hard time going through the process, the more that you do it, the easier it get. For me personally, it felt like at the beginning when I did it, before I actually show it to you guys, it felt like really uneasy and uncomfortable. But from doing it the session now today, like I don't know. I'm in a different, completely different state, but I understand what you're saying because when I do it in bed, I am really like, I don't have the need. My mind isn't scattered. I can really focus. I can really center myself, really absorb it. And so this will be a good practice for you, Chantal, when you said you have a hard time in terms of visualization. The more you do it, the more you practice, the more you center and coming into your body, coming back to being in touch with it, the more you're going to be able to fine tune and visualize things and make it to come to reality. Like recently, there are things that I'm able to manifesting, and every time it always feels shocking to me. Like when I manifest stuff, I was pretty sure it would never happen, but I have no expectation. I don't attach anything. And every time it happens, I'm like, oh, this shit works. And it works so well recently, more and more, that I'm like, what am I doing right here? I don't know what I'm doing right, but something is working, so I'm not changing it. But yes, practice. And then I think for you, being in bed, it's going to be good. Like what I find that was really good for me is doing the visualization, but I'm the type of person who needs to write it out, that I am wealth, I am abundance, I am a magnet of money. And all of those things really helps. So I do both. I do the visual of listening, and then I do the writing. And I find when I write, I really tend to manifest it better. Alice, how did that come out for you? I know you have kids and stuff and it's really hard, but I wanted to hear your perspective.
Well, they left at the right time so that I could have a little moment of peace and quiet.
Mm.
And I went through it and I did my best to
Mhm.
feel through the entire thing
Mhm.
better than I usually do. And my mind didn't scatter except for a few occasions. And one of the thoughts I went to was I had text my lawyer today
Mhm.
to ask her, like, on a human to human level, I need her to show up
Mhm.
that day and just, know that I have a lot of respect for her and that I wouldn't put her I wouldn't use the trust she puts in me wrongly. Basically, what I was trying to get at is um, I need her to show up to court, even if by the time that court rolls around, I don't exactly have all the money,
Mhm.
but whatever, right? And I
Mhm.
told myself that, depending on her answer, I'll kind of know what to do.
Mhm.
And just after the meditation finished, she kind of texts me and it's still vague. And I'm like, God damn it, I don't know what to say. But she goes like, I'll keep those trial dates blocked on my calendar for you in terms of trying to stay on your case. I can't make any guarantees. We will work with you to have adequate funds by the time most of the work becomes due or whatever. But if you can't pay, I cannot guarantee that I'll be there. So I'm like, what does this mean? Is this my answer to just let them go and try to find somebody else? It's kind of wishy-washy.
So are you like, is your question, are you debating on whether to keep this lawyer, or are you thinking?
I don't want to. I know they're gonna ask for money pretty soon, and I don't want to put any more money in if like, let's say by the time of the trial, I don't have absolutely everything they're asking for. I don't want them to say like, oh yeah, you didn't make a payment, so we're not gonna help.
Okay, I see.
I need them to show up
Mhm.
and know that a payment will come.
Okay. And what's the link with the video with the
With
manifest?
the video, it's just like, that's one thought that came to me while I was
Doing the meditation.
doing the meditation is trying to make a decision on that, if that makes sense.
Okay, so
And
while you were doing the visualization, the meditation, you were asking these questions at the same time?
it just popped in
Ah,
for a split
got it.
second, and because it's all related to money, and the money I need right now is for that, so it just came. but with regards to the visualization, Eric,
I want to go on
you're not gonna go anywhere.
there.
Anyway, so while I was doing the visualization, it was, I could see the things he was saying to see.
Mhm.
It just takes I think it takes time to make it happen.
Oh, I do have something that I'm gonna be able to do with you to really release some of those stuff. So we'll try to book something together. I'm gonna spend like an hour together. Next week it's March break, so I'll have more time during the day. I'll spend an hour to release some of those blockage and those limitation as well. So I'll do that with you, and hopefully that I think it will be very helpful for you. So I'm looking forward to that. Just send me your availability, Alice, like what your schedule look like, and since I'm on March break, I can squeeze something in there.
I think the other way around, you tell me when you're available and I'll pick a time
Okay.
is better, just because I have more flexibility than you right now.
Are you better off like after I don't know, our hours or 3 hours difference? So like if it's afternoon for you, like from noon onward, is that something that works best for you or no?
I usually prefer before 2:30 my time, which is 5:30 your time. And the reason is because my daughter's in school, so she doesn't
Okay, perfect. Okay,
sit
so
on her brother's head.
anytime before 2:30 your time. Okay, got it. Just not too early because you can't wake up early. So
I'll wake up.
no,
I'll make
okay,
it.
I'll do it not too early. Okay, perfect. So we'll leave on this one in the sense that what is the one thing from what you learned today that you're gonna apply in the next week or the following weeks to come that will be helpful for you? So Chantal, and then I'll come back to Alice.
I'd say the 4 C's that we talked about today,
Mm-hmm.
try to, I don't know, I thought that was kind of easy to remember, the 4 C's, and then they kind of all went back to what you kind of like outlined. So being in the moment,
Yeah.
breathing. I wrote them all down. Basically, I'm going to go all over them and just like really try to, just to trying to look at which one had really stuck out for me.
Mm-hmm.
The mental dialogue in the head, making room, the emotional self-care, being good to myself, which I think that I'm getting on. I'm working on that. That's going well.
Good.
But mainly, I think a lot of it would be the thoughts that keep coming in my head. To like kind of like push them aside.
The negative self-talk.
Yeah, well, it's not necessarily negative. It's not that I'm not negatively. No, it's not negative self-taught. It's more. I would say it's more like that version of me that comes in and says, "You see, it's kind of like always like trying to teach me things,
Oh, okay, I see.
It's that version. I don't think bad thoughts like you're no good, you're not this. It's none of that. I'm not that hard on myself. It's more other stuff where, it always comes back to, I doubt, I question, I'm in conflict. It's this internal dialogue that's constantly going on because I want to be making the right choices. That's what's messing with my head.
I honestly think that it's all boils down to fear, you guys.
Yeah.
Just different fears. And I know Ree and we talked about that whole fear, feel the fear and do it anyway. But it's so much harder to do.
Again, it comes back to the thoughts too. It comes back to exactly, Alice, what you had said before. You are the observer of your thoughts and your emotions. So when you say feel the fear and do it anyway, is that you feel the fear, but it's a thought, it's an emotion. And so if you're able to disconnect from that and you still do it anyway, then you're able to be successful. I know it's like, it's a really hard concept to grasp, but at the same time, when people who feel the fear and they do it anyway, it's because they purposely make a choice. They know they are the one in control. It is not their thought nor their emotion that is in control, but themselves. So despite the fear, they choose to look at something that they can cling on that is more positive and stronger and bigger than the fear itself. And they go forward with it. Doesn't mean that they're not scared. I mean, I was scared shitless doing everything that I had to do, but I felt the fear, and the mission, the why, had to stand out even bigger than the fear itself. Like when Sarah was talking about, she had to escape the killing field, the attempt to escape knowing that you're going to get killed should paralyze most people. But her why of making back to her family and reconnecting and rekindling with her family was bigger than the fear itself, that it drove her to do the things that she was most terrified of. And so Alice, for you got to find what is your why. Until you can find that why, you always let fear conquer it. And so for me, my why was, when I left the unhealthy relationship, my why was, I love love. And I cannot stand by, after 17 years of being in denial, of pretending that this is love when it is not. And I can't live with myself because it no longer aligns with my value. It no longer aligns with the core of who I am. So I made the drastic change of leaving the relationship, no matter how hard. And I did it in small increment. Took me 6 damn years to leave. Therapy and couple therapy, and read all the books and the conference and all those workshops to make it there. There is a time and a pace for everything. As much as we want to rush it, when your time comes, you'll know. And so what I'm trying to say is that when you do know your why, it will be bigger than your fear. My why for doing this business, like every time I say it to people, why do I do this? Everybody, it speaks to them because they know my why. It's bigger than myself. It has to be bigger than you. It's no longer, you have to take it out. It's no longer necessary just about you. It's that it's you, but it benefits everybody around it. When I look about, why do I need to be able to stay alive and to thrive after losing my sister? I wasn't thinking about me. I was thinking about my why is that I have a purpose in this planet. It's not true that I'm just going to vanish without accomplishing my goal. When I was a kid, I wanted to make a huge difference in the world. I wanted to change the world in so many ways. What, now I'm going to leave this world without even accomplish a little small section of it? And 2, I can't leave this world. I have my babies. They look up to me and I need to tend to them. So suck it up, Ree. Do what you must. Cry all you need to, but you're going to have to find a solution. And there is a solution. You better believe it. And I believe there was a solution, no matter how tough, no matter how hard it is. If I had to crawl and bleed and bled just to make it to that finish line, you're damn sure I will make it. Because why? Because I had the why so big. And to know that my parent went through the refugee camps, went through all of the war, to give up everything that they had for a better life for us, when they sacrificed over 20 to 30 years of hard labor, just so that me and my sibling can have a better future. I'm going to give up now? No fucking damn way. And so that why is why I'm here today. And it's why I can't give up, because there are times, Alice, There was a moment when I thought to myself, I should just end it all because it would be so much more easier. Like, who would really miss me? Who would give a damn that I don't exist in this world anymore? It is so easy for me to just say, hands down, I throw in the towel. But I couldn't. I couldn't because it was bigger than me. It is no longer about me. It's about my children, about my parents, about the friends that will miss me, and about the mission that me and my sister had in making a difference and empowering women. This is what I stand for. Every day of my existence, no matter how much of a hardship, no matter how much of a struggle, I'm the type of person is like, I don't ask for the obstacle, but if it's coming my way, it better be ready because I'm going to give it a hell of a fight and I'm not going down till I win, and I will win. And that's the attitude you have to have.
Mm.
I don't know if that helps you at all, Alice. I went on a random stuff.
No, it's not
Mhm.
random because it relates to how I feel, like, for sure. Like my feeling this week was that I feel like I've done enough for this lifetime. Can I just lay down for, like the rest of the century or something?
Yes, I get you. And you will get a moment, you will get a moment of rest, but right now the battle is calling on you. It's asking, Alice, there's an obstacle. There's a course. You can cave or you can fly. Which one do you choose? And
Right.
the hardest one is climbing up that hill when you feel like you got no more strength left. It's doing little baby step at a time until you can start seeing the light, Alice. It's waiting on that dark time until the light starts shining and piercing through a little peek of the window until it takes all of the space, and then you're free, you're up, you're safe. It's asking on a battle. Alice, here comes the battle. What you gonna do? You have a decision you need to make, and use your support system, your friends, your people. You're doing these workshops, you're working on yourself, you're reading audibles, you're doing things. I don't know if you need to do like a support group, people who may be going through hard times. I find those good. Like when I lost my sister, I didn't want to go be part of the bereavement group, but I had to accept that I wasn't coping properly. And so I started signing up for a bereavement group. I never, ever thought to sign up for a group like that. I never went, but I did sign up for it. It just didn't pan out, that whatever happened, but I did take the step. I actually gave in and I said, I need help. I can't do this alone. So I put in place friends, people, professionals, mentors. And then I even look for the bereavement group. I actually become humble and said, I'm one person. I can't do it all. So I need to implant things in place to support me while I'm feeling down until I can build my strength back up. And when my strength gets back up, you can be sure it'll be a hell of a fight. And I'm not going down till I actually really win. And it's that determination too. I know there's something, I don't know how to explain it. I just know that when your minds decide on something, and I heard this story and I'll end it on this. Oh yes, I have a friend. She showed me a video that really is powerful. So her best friend, was diagnosed with cancer. She was, I can't remember, she was like 17 years old. And the doctor came back with the prognosis saying that she had a couple months to live and that they should start preparing for her funeral, planning all of these things already for her. And when she heard that, she said to her parents, no damn way are you planning no funeral for me, because I am going to beat this thing and I'm going to make it out alive. Today, she's still alive. It's been close to 20 years. They gave her 3 months to live. In her mind, there's no way she's going down. In her mind, there's no funeral. In her mind, she will beat it. And today she's married happily traveled the world, did everything that she wanted to do. But that situation, it gave her a wings now to fly, to really seize, to live the moment. And she's living it to the max right now. So when you're thrown this type of hard situation, you can decide what you want to do out of it, how you want to come out of it. So in her head, she was going to make it out. And something about determination is the will. And I always knew that as a kid. When your determination is so strong, the universe become you. I don't know how to do this. I just know that if my mind decides something, the universe is working in collaboration with me. So everything that I've done in my lifetime, when I make a decision, like I remember when in high school, we were trying to get, I wasn't very good at math. And then my best friend, as you know, Wing Yin, she was going into the enriched math, and I couldn't seem to make it where I had enough of those good grades to make it into the enriched math. But I decided that there's no way I'm going to stay behind while all of my good friends get to go onto the enriched math. I would do everything in my power to make sure that I make it to the next year and I'll be part of the enriched math. And I busted my ass every single day. My mindset was like, I am going to do everything that I need to in order to get through it. And I spoken to my teacher or math teacher. I think you were in my class, spoken to our math teacher. And I said, you know, what are my chances of succeeding in this thing? And he's like, looking at your pattern with your math, it's not impossible. He wasn't trying to be pessimistic. He said, it's not impossible, but it's going to be really difficult. And it's really going to take everything that you have. But when I made up the mind that there was nothing, that nobody was going to stop me, and I am going full, I can't explain it. And so I made it. My dad said, oh, so you're going to go to the regular math or the enriched math? I'm like, Dad, I never let any thoughts that says I wasn't going. Every single day I repeated to myself that I'm going to be, and I visualized that I was with my best friend doing that enriched math. And it seems so simple, but I made it. Like I made it. I was so proud of myself. But there are so many examples in my lifetime when it comes to determination. I am the symbol of, I mean, other people too, but I am the pure symbol of determination. When I decide something, the world, the universe can decide that will not be the case. And it knows it has to fight me till the very end, because chances are I will win. It's all in here.
It's so interesting you say that, because today I had a doctor appointment and I was leaving the car.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I kept thinking was, I have decided that I'm going to make this work. This isn't going to bring me down. This is not going to bring me down. And it was like, it just came out as, it's a decision.
Yep.
It is a decision, and that's it.
That's it.
So I'm not gonna be brought down by this.
Exactly.
What happens, I'm gonna,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Make that decision. It's really
I need
taking
to
a
stop letting
stand.
the fear just make me waver, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I need to decide, okay, I'm gonna take this lawyer and just go for it, and that's it.
That's it. And then allow yourself to be as creative, to adapt, to be flexible. Like you can't be rigid. Like you can have a certain vision of what it is you see yourself as, when you decide, when you make a decision, is people have a hard time making a decision. When you decide on that decision, stick to it firmly till the very end. And when you tell yourself, and I mean, it's the same thing for successful people. Successful people don't take no as an answer. They will grind, they will fail so many times, and they will come back, and they will come back again, because they made a decision that they will succeed. And that's what makes the difference, is now you made a decision, and now you need to keep on that decision, and then know that you can find so many creative ways to finding solution to getting to your goal. It's all it is. it's really making that decision whether you want to commit to it and succeed at it. Like for me, when it comes to my business, is I'm completely in a different level now. As I just know I will succeed. I don't even ask myself, are you going to succeed in this? I just know now. It's no longer at a logical thinking. I feel it now. And once you feel it, it is yours. And how it manifests, however it shows up the way it shows up when the timing is right. I don't have to worry about these things anymore. I just do it because I love what I do. So I'm glad to hear that you come to the realization that you needed to decide, and now you need to stick by that decision. Okay. All right, so it's getting really late. Thank you so much, ladies. I hope that was helpful. I will post everything that needs to be posted onto the group. And Alice, if something comes up, please don't be shy. Text me, let me know, and I'll try to help you the best that I can. But next week we'll schedule something. I will send you my availability.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Was this our last session or do we have one more?
No, we have one more. Next week, it's going to be on intuition, how to tap into our intuition.
Okay, good. Okay, cool.
Thank you so much. Have a
All
good
right.
night.
All right.
Bye.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Alice. Bye.
Right.
Bye.